What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh Medlin and I have another tech review for you today. This is the Miles Phantom with stats like a 30 mile an hour top speed, 30 miles of range. It's promising a lot, and I'm here to tell you whether or not it lives up to the hype that it's promising. And I was actually one of the first to try and demo Miles' first board, which was the Miles Dual electric skateboard. That was a mini board, it was more compact. This one is the Mac Daddy. This one is the creme de la creme. This is the board that you want if you want to go all out for an electric skateboard. Today I'm going to dive into some of the things that I do like about this board, the things I don't like about this board. I have not been sponsored or paid to say any of these things in any way. I do know the folks over at Miles, and they were kind enough to send me the board for a week to kind of gather my thoughts and see what I did and didn't like about it. But they now sadly have the board again. So with that being said, I'm gonna try to just dive straight into the things I do like about the board. Let's start off with the pros. The pros about this board, number one is the build quality. This board is so tightly put together. I'd actually say it's more tightly put together than a Boosted V3, which was the last electric skateboard that I had. Boosted, as you know, it's no longer in business, but when it was in business, it was the quality king. That's what they were known for, was their performance and their quality. Even that board, even the Boosted V3, which was 3 generations in, that thing had squeaks and rattles. There was a cable underneath the main battery compartment that would rattle. Could not get that to stop. This board, there's absolutely 0 creaks, 0 rattles. It's very tightly put together. The quality feels amazing in every single aspect. And you can really see they listened to those reviews about the first board, they learned from that, and they put it into this board, which is absolutely incredible. It's good to know that the folks at Miles are actively listening and trying to improve their products based on consumer feedback. The second thing I love about this board, the second pro, is the design. The design is absolutely sick looking. Obviously design is subjective, but I will say from the moment I took out the board, the first thing my wife said, who doesn't really give a shit about tech products, was, wow, that's sexy. And I have to agree with the carbon fiber, the colorway that they chose, and I think paired with the cloud wheels, which I'll talk about later in this video, it looks amazing. It looks like a little off-road ATV. Maybe a cool thing they could have done was make the wheels yellow, like the yellow stripe, but that's just nitpicking. I think the design looks really awesome, and I love that they gave you 2 wheels to choose from. At first, I wasn't a total fan of the deck design. It took me a little bit of riding to get used to, because I like to ride with a little bit of a wider stance. But after I got used to the deck design, how it concaves down or drops down, eventually, after enough riding, when you get used to it, your feet kind of meld into those grooves, and it really gives you a lot of stability. And now I'm a super huge fan of that versus like the bamboo deck on the Boosted. Now I'm gonna get into the next section, which I think is the main point of this board. I've ridden a lot of boards. I've ridden the inboard M1, Boosted V3, Boosted 1. I've ridden obviously Miles' old board. I've ridden an Evolve GT. Out of all of the boards I've ridden, this thing is the most insane out of every single board. I've gotten it up to a true 29/30 miles per hour. That's what the remote was reading, and I checked on other apps too, and let me tell you, it feels that fast when you're riding it at that speed. I've never ridden a board that's that fast, which let me tell you, out of the box, this thing's trucks are way too loose. You want to tighten them. I tightened mine literally up until they couldn't tighten anymore, because at 30 miles an hour, you're going to get some massive speed wobble. And with the deck being carbon fiber, you kind of, in a sense, feel like it's a sports car at high speeds at 30 miles an hour. The board is completely rigid. It's not flexing like a Boosted would. And I actually think that a stiffer deck works way better for high speed scenarios when you're talking about a skateboard. Also, going along with performance on the original Miles, one of the biggest gripes I had about it was the braking, for lack of a better word, just sucked. It was not very good. Because it was hub motors and the hub motors didn't have that strong of brakes, I would find myself all the time not being confident that if I hit the brakes, it was either going to throw me off or it wasn't gonna stop in time and I was gonna end up running into a car or something. This is not the case with this board. This board, the brakes are honestly just as good as a Boosted board. And I don't know quite how they did that, because typically the tension and torque from the belt motors is a lot better for braking, but I would say I felt just as comfortable braking on this board as I did on a Boosted V3, the inboard. At the point of 20+ miles an hour, especially when you're getting close to 30 miles an hour, these things are basically transportation devices. You wouldn't get into a car with bad brakes, so I don't want to be that fast with no sheet metal around me with bad brakes. So This thing, A+ on the brakes. I think the brakes are phenomenal. The next pro I'm gonna talk about is the remote. The remote is excellent quality. They've pretty much mimicked the style of the boosted remote with a little rocker. You roll it forward to accelerate, you roll it back to brake. This is the most simple design, but I think that every other remote that's tried to do a different variation than this style, which is like the boosted remote style, has failed, and it never feels like you have as much control than with this remote. You can ease into the throttle, you can ease into the braking. It feels totally natural and smooth, and if you're coming from a boosted board, I think you're gonna feel right at home with this. There's other cool things they've included that don't happen to be in like a boosted remote. They have a little LCD display which shows you your speed, your odometer, how many miles you've actually ridden on the board, how far your current trip is. And this is all super useful information, and I think they needed to add this to this since they don't have a app like the boosted board does or the M1. And just like any other premium product, I think you can really tell if something's premium or just run of the mill by the small details. They really paid attention to the small details, and that's seen in this remote. They put this nice coating that's kind of like a rubber non-slip coating so you don't accidentally drop the remote while you're driving it, and it also feels very premium and nice. I will say the remote's a little bit on the light side. I think if it was a little bit more heavy, it would feel a bit more premium, but the coating on the outside is very nice. They even went so far as to take away the micro USB that they did in the other remotes, and they put in USB Type-C. Again, it's the small things like this that really let you know that they're paying attention. They want to make sure you have the most up-to-date technology. Next, I want to talk about the range, which along with the performance is easily one of the biggest selling points about this board. One thing I was constantly annoyed with every other single electric skateboard or electric product I've ridden is the range. Save for like an electric scooter, which sometimes have between 15 to 20 miles of range. The max that I've ridden on like a boosted or even the extended range boosted is maybe 8 miles when you're in the highest setting. On my version 1 boosted board, which didn't even have the extended battery, at the top performance setting, I could get maybe 3.5 to 4 miles out of it, which might be good if you're just trying to go from point A to point B in like Manhattan or something, but if you want to do any sort of adventuring, that's not really enough range. This board I took out for a over 2-hour ride. When I got back home, it was at 3/5 of battery on the remote, and the odometer said I had gone 20 miles on that ride. I will tell you, your feet will start to hurt before the board runs out of battery. That is just straight up. Like I said, I did a 20-mile ride and it was at 3/5 battery, which is absolutely mind-blowing because that means it could go even further. I will say that's on the included wheels, which are the lower profile black wheels, not the big cloud wheels, but I did end up putting on the cloud wheels. Typically cloud wheels increase the top speed, but also take away from your range. Being that this thing has such a massive and stupidly large battery, even with the larger wheels, it barely impacts the range. So now that I'm on the subject of wheels, let's talk about the wheels they include in the box. The board gets shipped to you with these black wheels on, and they're fine, and the board is still amazing and really fast with these wheels on. But where it really changes, as I just mentioned, is when you put on these cloud wheels. I wasn't exactly sure if I would like these things, but I put it on just to test them for the review, and after I put them on, I did not take them off. As I mentioned earlier, because it's a carbon fiber deck, the ride is very stiff, which I like for top speeds, but the only caveat to that is if you're riding at top speeds and you hit a pebble or any sort of rocks or anything at 30 miles an hour with those wheels, it's very sketchy. I almost fell off a couple times. But after I put on those wheels, the cloud wheels, I was able to run through debris, branches, and a bunch of stuff without it even affecting my speed or my stability. Last thing I want to leave you guys with before the end of the review is I did do a first impressions video. I filmed it with my iPhone, so it's not going to look as flossy as the rest of the B-roll in this video, but I did want to grab my reaction when I rode this board for the first time. This was the first day I got it. I just unboxed it. I took it right out with whatever charge it had on it, and the speed absolutely blew me away. I make a lot of dad noises and funny sounds in this video, but I think you can see the sheer excitement and the thrill of this board, which I think is the biggest selling point. I will play that video right now. Okay, this is my first ride on the Miles Phantom, their new electric skateboard. On this straightaway around the corner here, I literally just hit 26 miles an hour. I'm barely putting into the throttle right now, and it's just taking off. It's incredibly quiet, just as their last model was, but it's just spooky how fast it goes without any noise at all. It's completely silent, and it looks just like a regular skateboard. All right, I'm gonna go around this corner here. I'm gonna floor it. Let's see what it does. We're at full throttle right now. 22. 24. Woo! 25. Oh, baby. Oh my God. Absolutely no shake. So much control. 26. Woo! And then here's the best part. Complete stop. Excellent brakes. Excellent controller. I'm obsessed with this thing already. All right, guys, that is it for this video. But let me know what you thought of the review. If you want to check out the board, I think it is on pre-order right now. Go ahead and click the link down below and you can get all the information on that. If you like this video and you want to see more tech reviews like this, make sure to give me a thumbs up and click subscribe down below. Also, comment below and let me know what you thought about this board. If you're a boosted stand or an evolved stand or any other electric skateboard stand and you want to chime in and ask me any questions, ask how it compares to a board. If I've ridden it, I can give you a comparison. I'll try to comment back to every single comment. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.